Ways that you think Kentucky, in particular, is going to challenge you, what you want this team to be defensively this year. Guys like Owe and the way they can play downhill. Just how does that play into
Right.
what you want to see from this team defensively?
Yeah, obviously, playing this game was also, choosing the environment too. I mean, obviously they're a talented team, very good offensive team, scored a lot of points last year. I know they've had a lot of changes in their roster, but all quality players, and he's a very good coach. Offensively, they do some really good things, but really just focusing on what we're doing right now at this point, and just wanting to go and play a high level game in a tough environment and see where we are. Just no matter what happens, we're going to be a better team after we play this game.
I know you can play everybody and still hold out the redshirt possibility, but will you play everybody?
I don't know. We'll see. Rowley's going to definitely redshirt, so I talked with him because obviously as a sophomore you can't play in these games and still redshirt. The true freshman can. So that's the only thing that we have gotten to at this point.
The process of managing as many bodies as you have, how good of a problem is that? And it is still a problem, though, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's we felt like when we signed Oscar more than anything that we had to shore up, our lack of interior defense with him and Daniel coming back, and then help us, from a rebounding standpoint, getting, Antoine and Omer, giving us, another ball handler, whoever's in the game, we thought would really, really help us. And then as we took Oscar and really lost Cam, we said if we want to play small and play like we did last year, not a lot, because I don't think we can go to a Final Four and win it all playing small. But I think there could be segments of a game that you do, because I think we proved that it was really good for us offensively. We needed to face up four. And then with Liam, that's why we went out and got him. While our summer, Liam was hurt, Raleigh was hurt, Oscar had visa issues, and Daniel played, 19 and unders. So JB ended up playing the four just because we had to in practice, and then it was like, oh man, this really works here. Like this works as him as the four, so that's where we slid him, but we didn't have intentions in the spring of doing that. But the summer kind of organically just, it happened, and but there's not a lot there. If we play big in a game and we don't play small at all, which I think will happen a lot, TK has about 30 minutes there, and there's only 10 minutes to grab. So you can't split that between two people. And so we understand that, and everybody understands that. So it's going to be a lot of sacrifice. If you're going to win big, you still have to go out there and do it. But we have a lot of options. If there's sometimes when you have struggles with a certain team, you got to keep working through it and play through your mistakes, and that's what all players want. Well, coaches don't always. If you have other options that are valid, you're going to move to those. And so, like, we have a deep team, we have a competitive team, and that's what we're going to be able to do. If some things, aren't working the way we like to, we can move to other guys.
Just how do you treat this where I don't think you scout this like you're playing Rutgers in December, or if you scout it at all, and development clearly is more important than winning. Just how do you treat these exhibition games and these Hornets' Nest that you keep scheduling every year?
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing it, and that's why they don't return it, because we like the fact of going somewhere and playing on the road early in our season. And if you don't play one of these exhibition games, then that's going to be your first experience for your freshmen and your new guys. And so that's why, I think it's important for us to be able to go to Arkansas or Creighton or Kentucky to get ourselves ready for the Alabamas of the world. And because that's going to be a tough non-conference game for us. And that third game doesn't mean that we can't get beaten our first two, because we can. But that's ideally, why we have done that is to go up against an elite team in the country on the road and just give us that experience.
Do you have a starting five in mind?
Yeah, Oscar, TK, Fletch, CJ, and Braden. That's who will start.
When you reach out to Kentucky, were they the first option this year, or are there a lot of people that are opposed to the idea?
I'm friends with one of their assistants, so I just threw it out there to him, and they said cool, so
Is
we
it
did.
usually that easy?
No. But like, we played Creighton, and Paul Lusk was on staff there before. Then playing Arkansas and going down there. One of the guys that was on staff there, he'd actually played us in an exhibition game when he was at a Division II school, and so we'd been in contact with them. A lot of times it's guys trying to connect to actual play, and then you're like, well, what about this? So I like it. I like the formula. I think it makes a lot of sense. I say it to a lot of coaches, and they look at me like it's crazy, and then they go play their first road game, and it's like, man, those first road games are hard. Well, make it your second road game. So.
I don't know if that starting lineup solidified, but just based on what you said, is there something you like more with Oscar and Trey on the floor together versus Trey and Daniel? Or
Yeah, Oscar's been our best rebounder. So I think that's where you see some separation there. And I've talked about this in the past. It's like, who fits in with Braden, Fletch, and Trey the best, right? I think CJ's won the most competitive drills since practice started. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's still a pretty good stat. Winning's pretty important. And so rebounding's pretty important. And so it doesn't mean that Oscar hasn't, done other good things, because he has, but I would say the difference lies when those two are together. We've had the most success in practice. And it's really hard when you have new players, because what can you grab from? That's the only thing you can grab from, right? They've never played games together. They've never, Oscar didn't have June and July with our team. So you got to take with what you have. But it's also feeding into, we hope Trey's a better rebounder at the 4 than he was at the 5, right? But a lot of our problems defensively was, we could get stops at times, but we couldn't get rebounds. So I think it's going to be important. The other thing is, like, Braden's a good rebounder as a guard. CJ's a good rebounder as a guard. So now, TK raises that. Oscar has the same rebound per minute that he's had. He was a second-leading rebounder in the country. So with that being said, I have no problem. Daniel's been great. And it's what we've really talked about. Like, we have more than 5 starters. Jakari Harris has really improved. He's done some really good things for us, and he's not going to start here. And that's hard, because I know that was one of his goals. But that's on a great team. You have more than 5 starters, and people are going to have to sacrifice, for the greater good.
Just to clarify what you said before, there could be further redshirt considerations after the exhibition game?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
Did
we'll
you
see. Well, I kind of make preliminary talks with the people involved, and then I don't like to have a talk and a decision at the same time. And so now I can sit with you and you can talk. You can kind of go through the minutes of where we were last year and what we're piecing into and what we've added and where it's at. It's projection too, so not everything is ironclad. But I would like to think Braden Smith's is pretty ironclad, right?
Yeah.
Go out on a limb. So like you just know that, right?
Sure.
Some things you just don't know yet. Like CJ was at close to 20 last year. G was close to 15. Fletch was at 30, 31. Braden was actually at 37, which is what you want, right? It's, you want to get in the game and stay in the game.
Did you vote Purdue number 1 in the coaches poll?
We do it, but I don't do it.
You don't do it. Okay.
I'd like to think that he did, yeah.
Who does handle it?
Elliot.
Oh, Elliot does. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He actually pays attention to it. I used to do it my first 3-4 years when I was here, and then we would do it together. But he just doesn't make stabs at it. Like, he actually pays attention to it. Right. The start of the season's really hard, especially in today's landscape. Like, that's a real difficult chore to be able to do it.
It's still your name that's on it. Does it have to go through you before it goes into there? Just you
No,
trust
he-
him.
he
You've
does
delegated
it.
that as well.
He does it. He does it.
And there's been this surge recently, or just this has come up in the last week, the idea of G League players coming back to play in college.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Is it something you think you would ever, I don't know if it's even realistic for you guys right now, but like if
Yeah.
it even applies, but something you would take advantage of?
You ever see the thing on the NBA Central, and you think it's real news, right? Am I saying it correctly, right? And they probably get me more than anybody. Like I'm like, no way, like that guy got traded, like. So that's what I thought it was. Like I just thought it was, yeah. So I didn't think of him. Then I see the other one where there's a big guy out there that people are recruiting. So I just think like they've piggybacked it, and they're just trying to trick you, right? You know, you're just kind of at a loss for words, like you don't know what is next, right? There's, you know, I don't know. It's nothing surprises you anymore. I know that, and that to me, like, you know, Bob Huggins used to always talk about it like they say like here's the best transfer squad, here's the best portal squad, here's the best, like he goes like where's the best stayers? Like, who's the best players that stay? And what about them? Because they came to school and to do X, Y, and Z, and now they did it because of the teammates that they were going to have and the situation that they were going to come into. And like, there has to be opportunities. Everybody's a high school player at one time. There has to be opportunities for high school players. And why are we taking away from high school players? The portal, all that stuff, like it takes away from the recruitment, especially D2, low major, mid-major recruitment. It just does. Because now these coaches, you know, they want to win. They want to keep their job. They don't want to have to move their kids from one school district to another school district. Like, that's what they want. And they want to grow it. But you're going to do that with 19 and 20-year-olds, and you want to do it with 22 and 23-year-olds. Well, they're going to go in the portal. They're going to get older players, and they're just going to keep doing it, whether they want to or not, because they want to keep their job. So now when you look at everything that has happened, like, isn't the backbone of what we have high school student athletes? And we just keep going away from it. So I'm kind of the opposite, and I'm stubborn, and I just want to do more of it. And so like I just kind of keep doing more of it. Even if I lose a guy or whatever, like, we needed rebounding. We had to go get Oscar. We had to. Like that was absolute, you know, for us. But at the end of the day, we'd rather develop and grow, and because I think that's, if you look at our best players, if you look at the guys that have done well for us, like that's who it's been.
Anything else? Thank you.
Cool, thanks.